you everyone for joining us. We have 10 times world salsa champion Oliver Pineda here. It's a great pleasure for me to be interviewing tonight, Maestro, and thank you very much for your time. I know you're very busy. We're very fortunate to have you because you're a family man and you're running a business and you're still teaching. So I really appreciate your time.
Because the hardest thing is implementing what you learn, and it's the same with dance, like people spend years and years learning, but remembering nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's one thing learning, it's another thing implementing, and actually the implementation is the harder part. The learning is kind of the easy part.
Yeah.
The implementation is the hard part, and then the consistency, whatever skill you're trying to learn, or even if it's a different mind, you're trying to, train your mentality to think differently, maybe, it takes a lot of persistence and a lot of consistency, because you're having to obviously change habits,
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's because it's not only applicable to dance, because there are so many learning platforms at the moment. You can be learning online on Zoom, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, online lessons. But I really resonated with what you just said, because if you're taking in all this information but you're not practically applying it, what are you looking for?
Yeah, look, I've really, really, really respected people, gained quite an appreciation of people that have taken this period as an opportunity for them to grow and work on themselves in whatever area. Me, like it's been, mindset, personal development, but I do a lot of like online privates, and I'm really quite like impressed and happy to see students like really taking their learning into their own hands, because fortunately the majority of people, I think, haven't. And I think there's more people out there that are just sitting at home twiddling their thumbs, waiting for things to go back to normal. But there's that sort of handful of people that go, you know what, I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm going to actually do something about it. Do you know what I mean? And people have like reservations about Zoom, like online privates and things like that. But they're actually really, really, really good. They're very convenient, and the quality is always good. So as long as you have a good connection, you can really, really get a lot out of, that. And I think the great thing is that this period has, like, the Corona period has really opened up a lot of opportunities for people to learn from people all over the world that previously they would have had to spend thousands of dollars going somewhere to learn from them. Like, it's crazy, like top line A-grade artists now online classes that didn't pre-Corona, and I mean, and myself included. Like, I've always had my subscription website, by the way, which is oliverpineda.dance. Okay.
Check that out if you
Yeah. But I've never really had like live online classes. And I've noticed people doing it, like even before the Corona period. I noticed that there was some out there, and I was always really curious about it. But this obviously forced me to get my act together, and it's been fantastic. I've got students logging in from all over the world, point where even when things go back to normal, I'm going to maintain my online. And a lot of artists will maintain their online presence now.
Do you think that'll be one of the biggest changes moving forward post coronavirus, is that the online presence will still be very strong?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Because it's like for a lot of us artists in the industry, it's like an untapped kind of market. You know, I mean, some of us have been, you know, making use of online learning for, you know, quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Not the majority, you know. Like I said, I've had my subscription website for about 5 years.
Yep.
And my subscription website is probably only one of a handful of subscription websites that are dedicated to salsa and street Latin.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many out there, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
now there's like heaps of learning opportunities, and it's fantastic. I'm really, really happy.
Yeah, I suppose people are concentrating a lot more on shines and body movement now instead of cool combinations, right?
Well, to be honest, even before the Corona period, that's what I focus on anyways with my
Mm-hmm.
students. My academy students, my highest level classes that I run in Latin motion are just you and a mirror. There's
Mm-hmm.
no partnering, because like partner work is saturated out there. It's there's like an overload.
Mm-hmm.
There's an excess of partnering content to the point where, you know, it's actually not that good for people. Like, and I think that because I know it might come across a bit funny, but partnering is an essential part of salsa. So
Mm-hmm.
don't get me, but you need to have a balance. Do you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
unfortunately is not out there.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to a congress, there's, you know, 18 partner work workshops and then 2, you know, solo workshops. One is probably shines, and then the other one, you know, not sure what that would be, but that's kind of the ratio, you know. And so anywhere I go, the 2 workshops I always teach are musicality and body movement. And that's because they're 2 topics that are very rarely taught.
Very underrepresented.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're incredibly important. They're essential. But unfortunately, people don't necessarily know that because they're not taught that.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's one of the reasons that some artists like yourself, for example, and like the Berardis, Antonio Jasmina Berardi and Pablito Stellato, and these sorts of artists who are very strong in shines and body movement, do you think that's why they have such strong followings at festivals? Because that's their niche, that's what they're concentrating on.
I just think it's their hairstyles. I'm joking. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. It's not quite there yet. That's not the following, but no.
Time, but everyone's been working on the wrong thing. It was purely a fashion style thing. Interesting. Okay. Take notes, everyone. If you want to become an artist,
You gotta get the hairstyle.
do you?
No, like everyone has a product. You know what I mean? The Berardi, like they have a product, right? They sell something. Okay. My product is quality over quantity. That's what I represent. When anybody learns from me, they know I'm going to do basics. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's other people out there that are going to spin on their head. That's not me. You know, I'm not the guy that's like busting 100-mile-an-hour shine combinations that nobody can keep up with. I can do that if I want to. I could do that, but my priority, like, I get a lot of satisfaction out of teaching people not necessarily what they want to learn, but what they need to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference. There's a difference between what a lot of times what someone wants and what they need. Now, I use the analogy of chocolate and vegetables. You know, like everybody loves chocolate, but not everybody eats their vegetables. And I'm like the, you know, vegetable store. When someone comes to me because they need vitamin, you know, they need carrots and broccolis and and Brussels sprouts.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, you know, and of course, like, you know, when I say chocolate, I refer to like all the millions of turn patterns and the millions of shine combinations. That's like chocolate, you know. And you have too much chocolate, you're just going to wind up, you know, it's not going to be beneficial to your health. But in the dance sense, it's not really going to improve you. I'm interested in what is really improved. Yeah.
So based off that, if you had to give 3 tips to dancers today, what would your 3 tips be in order to improve?
Well, okay, so 3 tips in order to improve. Well, first of all, the student needs to take their learning into their own hands. So they can't expect to be spoon-fed. You know what I mean? They need to actually go out there and they need to source, you know, who they want to learn from and sign up to whatever class, go wherever you need to go. Do you know what I mean? So there's that. That's like the initial taking the first step, make the first move. And then obviously there's the consistency. So, you know, whatever you sign up to, like, I think people just kind of want the quick fix, you know. But it really is about, you know, consistency and maintaining, you know, a presence in whatever class you're doing, that you turn up. Even if you don't want to turn up, you turn up. It's like the gym, you know, we don't always feel like going to the gym, but you know, yeah. And I'm actually no one to speak about that. But yeah, so, you know, so first of all, it's taking the learning into your own hands by taking initiative. Then it's maintaining that consistency in what you're learning. And then it's the application. It's the application, you know, it's actually implementing what you've learned. Like those 3 things are the key to master any skill. The best mindset to put yourself in is not to really focus on anyone else, because when you focus on other people, you're essentially giving away your power. And the best thing that I do and that I try to teach people that want to compete is it's really about you being in competition with yourself.